Hi fellow crafters, would you like another idea for using up leftover bits of designer series paper? In today's video, I'm going to show you a fun layout technique that will do just that. I'm going to be using my Leaves of Holly bundle to create a Christmas card, but you can easily change my idea for any occasion that you need. Shall we get started? If this is the first time you're visiting my channel, hi, I'm Terri from nutsaboutsstamping.com. I love sharing techniques and project ideas for rubber stamping, paper crafting, and scrapbooking with you each week. Be sure to hit that red subscribe button and the bell beside it so that you'll be the first to be notified when my next video goes live. Be sure to watch all the way through my video for my bonus tips and design ideas. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yet, I would love for you to choose me. I'll link to my online stores in the description box under this video. Now, let's get paper crafting. If you are still looking around for a Christmas bundle for this year's Christmas cards, I cannot recommend this bundle enough. It is the perfect bundle to celebrate the season. From simple touches to elaborate designs, you can garnish your seasonal cards, tags, and gift boxes with this classic Christmas time foliage. You can either stamp the base leaf stamp, which is this one here, or you can use the detailed leaf stamp alone for quick greenery. Or you can take advantage of two-step design to create images with added texture and dimension. Try out different color combinations on your leaves and berries to create beautiful boughs of holly. I'm also going to be using the Boughs of Holly Designer Series paper. Let's have a quick look at some of the designs in this paper. These beautiful papers embrace the classic emerald green and rich reds that we all love to see at Christmas time, with poinsettia, holly, and evergreen motifs. It also includes a more neutral branch birch bark pattern, which you don't see here, soft polka dots, and abstract swatches of classic seasonal colors. You can also cut out the images for quick textured and detailed layered pieces. This paper is perfect for card fronts, gift tags, scrapbook pages, and more. Now the colors in this paper are also important to note. They are cherry cobbler, evening evergreen, mossy meadow, old olive, poppy parade, real red, Sahara sand, shaded spruce, soft succulent, and soft suede. So perfect Christmas time colors. Now let's get going on this technique. So what you want to do is choose coordinating designer series paper for this technique. Now obviously these are not really scraps, they're much larger pieces, but let's say that you had some strips of designer series paper laying around and you wanted to use them up. Well, this is the technique for that. What you want to do is take your paper cutter and your scraps, and you want to create squares using up your leftover bits of paper. Now I have chosen 1 1/4 inches, but I want to encourage you for this technique to try different sizes of squares. Maybe go up to 1 3/4, or you could go smaller to 1 1/4 or 1 inch, depending on your style. Try it first the way that I'm going to show you, and then go ahead and be playful and try it in different ways. So once you have several squares cut, I would recommend around 8 for the size of card that I'm going to show you today. You're going to take each square and you're going to turn it so that your point is in the cutting tray of your paper trimmer, and then just lay down the bar and cut so that you create 2 triangles from each one of your squares. So about 16 triangles. I hesitate to get to a specific number. Just cut several, and if you need, cut more, and if you don't need, then you have leftover bits for your next card. I'm going to adhere my triangles of designer series paper to a base layer of Poppy Parade. Now, one thing I want to highly recommend for this particular technique is that you use multi-purpose liquid glue because it doesn't dry very quickly and you can kind of manipulate or slide the triangles around as you're building your design. The way I recommend you begin is to take one of your triangles and kind of figure out what you think the center of your card width might be, like so. And then you're going to take two other patterns, or like in this case, I'm going to use the same pattern. And I'm going to put one on this side and one on the other side. And having some overhang is perfectly fine. We'll trim that off in a few minutes. Okay, then I'm going to stop gluing and I'm going to lay this out and show you what you're going to do to create this technique. The next step in this technique is to do exactly the same thing, but on the bottom. So I'm going to use my glue and mirror exactly what I did at the top. Okay, so I've got my point, and then I am going to use a different pattern over here, and then the same on the other side. Exactly like I did up above. And remember, don't worry about any overhang. We will trim that off in a minute. The next step is to take your remaining triangles and try to fill in as much space as you can on this card layer. So you're going to just play with patterns and play with designs and see what you come up with. And again, don't worry too much about the amount of red space that's showing through, because we're going to create something to go on top of this that will distract the eye. So what I'm going to do is finish my layout. I'll come back and show you what I did and then what we're going to do next. Here we go. My leftover bits of designer series paper are all adhered down, and then I trimmed off any overhang. This is not a perfect layout idea, and you're going to have to realize that. I think it depends on the size of the squares that you cut in the first place, but don't worry about any kind of things that look a little out of sorts, because I'm going to show you what we're going to do next to cover that up. I have a scrap piece of basic white cardstock, and I have this die from the Holly Berries dies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut it out, and then I'm going to add a phrase in the middle. Normally, I would recommend you do the opposite of that, but this is kind of an odd shaped die, so let's die cut it first and then add an image to it. The other thing I want to do, since I'm going to be die cutting, my fingers are a bit sticky from the glue, is I've got this berry stamp from the Leaves of Holly stamp set, and I'm going to use real red, and I'm going to stamp this image down on this scrap piece, like so, and then I have got this die from the Holly Berry dies as well. So I'm going to die cut these two out, and then we'll add a phrase. There we go. I have those pieces ready for the front of my card. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take my Mossy Meadow ink and the phrase that says Season's Greetings, and I'm going to ink it up and stamp it down on this, I guess it's like a Christmas tag. Isn't it beautiful? I just love the intricate leaves. And now what we're going to do is add these bits to the front of the card. My card base is going to be basic white, and what I want to do is add this layer that we've created to the card front. Like so. And now it's time to add our tag and our little berries. So I've decided that my tag is just going to be adhered flat. Whoops, I just pulled it a little bit. Let's see if I can fix it when I lay it down. So I put some adhesive, there we go, on the back where I stamped the season's greetings. And then I think what I'll do is take some Stampin' Dimensionals and pop up the berries for a really, I guess, a multi-dimensional look. And there we go, a beautiful Christmas card idea that helps us use up leftover bits of designer series paper. Would you like to see another way to use up paper scraps? Well, why not watch this video next? And if you would like a complete listing of the supplies that I used and the measurements for all of the layers, head on over to my blog. I'll link to the blog article in the description box underneath this video. I'll also include the product ordering numbers for the Leaves of Holly bundle and the designer series paper. I'm Terry. I'm nuts about stamping. I hope you'll try this fun paper technique someday soon. Bye for now.